Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm gonna go through my loss. So about 2 weeks ago, the week of the 18th, I took a loss of about $6,000 in one day. That's the biggest loss that I've taken in a given trading day. And on top of that, that entire week, I came out on a loss. So I lost about a total of $530 on the week. That's the first week that I've been red in a really long time. But that being said, before I go through that day with you guys, I do want to let you know that over the past couple weeks, the market has been a little difficult to trade. With all of the news going on, so many different catalysts, it's really hard to read what the overall market is going to do. A lot of traders that I've spoken to have really been struggling over the past couple of weeks, and you're not alone. It's not an easy market right now to trade in. So if you find yourself struggling, if you find yourself really not finding, it's a change of pace, or you're not able to keep up, just take a break. It's fine. The market's always going to be there. You're not missing out. Take a break and kind of just review material, study, review trades, watch the market during the live day and see what it does. But just to know that you guys aren't alone. Even the most seasoned traders I found have been struggling trading this market. So do not worry. We're all in this together. And yeah, so let's go ahead and get started. I'll go through that day with you guys and kind of run through my mindset and what went wrong within those couple of trades. All right, guys. So like I said, the loss that I took was on the week of the 18th. So I'm going to go over my play. So the total loss that I took on the day for the 20th was around $6,000. I'm going to go over through two of my plays with you guys. One of them is going to be with NVIDIA. So I'm going to just go through and kind of show you guys, one, how I review my trades, and then two, kind of show you guys how I find what I did wrong. Because sometimes you obviously don't remember what exactly you were thinking when you were looking to get into that play. So sometimes you have to kind of break down exactly what you would have done if you watched the market, if you watched that stock in the beginning. So kind of backtrack and start from the beginning of your day, how you would have charted the stock, and then work your way in and see why you would have taken that play. So NVIDIA was on my watch list this day because they had earnings the next day. So they reported earnings on the 21st of May, and I had them on my watch list on the 20th because I thought that they might have some type of move on either side throughout the day. So this is how I charted my 1 day, 1 minute. So this is the 519 to 520. So this is the 1 day, 1 minute time frame on NVIDIA. And I charted the pre-market high at 360.09, probably like 360.10 I would have rounded it to, and then the pre-market low at 352.05, and then the previous day's high of the day, which is 363.50. So NVIDIA in the morning, you can see at 9:30 at the open, the stock was pretty choppy, not much going on here, not showing really any direction on the upside or downside. So the first mistake that I made is that I really wasn't paying attention to my levels on NVIDIA. I had 3 levels that I set, like I showed you here, the pre-market high, low, and the previous day's high. So those are the levels that I should have watched for NVIDIA. Those are the levels that I should have played, and those are the levels that I usually play. That is the first mistake that I made. The second mistake that I made is that because of that, I thought that this candle was showing sellers were taking control of NVIDIA and it was going to be on a downtrend. I took this small play right here as a downtrend, and this I took as my pullback. I entered at 9:44 on the push down of this candle. The candle pulled back and the stock ended up reversing. It was kind of a fake out, but it was my fault because I wasn't following my trading setup and trading plan or strategy at all. This is not how I trade a stock. I've never traded like this before. Now that I'm looking at it, it just doesn't make sense for me to take this play at all. Like I said, wasn't breaking a key support level. Market wasn't really showing a trend. The stock itself wasn't showing a trend when it first opened. So I should have waited until I saw aggressive sellers pushing the stock down towards my key level, my pre-market low of the day, my pre-market low. And that's when I should have taken on this trade. Instead, I entered in a rush. I entered on this candle, on the push down of this candle. thinking that it was a this was a pullback, thinking that this was a pullback, this was the push down, this is the candle that I entered. Now, if I really wanted to take a high probability play and this was a downtrend, what would have happened is I should have waited for this to be my breakout candle of this previous consolidation and then get in on the next candle open below that consolidation period or pullback period. That is your safer play to take. Getting in on the breakout candle, this is the reason why you don't do it. Regardless of the choppiness, let's just ignore that for a second. Just pay attention to getting in on just the breakout candle. If you get in on the breakout candle, you have a higher probability chance of getting caught in a false breakout, because usually that tends to happen, especially if the stock is not showing you strong direction. The stock is not showing you that sellers are in control or buyers are in control, and you get in on the breakout candle, chances are you're going to take a loss and you're going to get caught in a false breakout. And that's exactly what happened here. I wasn't watching any of my key levels. I was only watching on the 1 minute time frame, and I got in on what I thought was a breakout candle of my previous consolidation. Now, when I say 1 minute time frame, yeah, I always show you guys the 1 minute time frame, and that is what I use to enter and exit on. So that's why I'm showing you guys, but I always pay attention to the 5 minute and 15 minute. It's really important to make sure that you are looking at all time frames. Especially in my charting video, I tell you guys multiple times, you need to chart the entire stock from with a top-down approach, starting from the highest time frame and working your way down. That being said, when I do watch it intraday, I'm watching the 1 minute, 5 minute, and 15 minute. Those are my intraday levels that I'm setting. Usually, if I set it on the 1 minute, 5 minute, it's hitting on the 15 minute as well. That's how you know if your levels are accurate or not. But you need to be paying attention to all of those time frames and not just paying attention to the 1 minute. Especially when you see things like this, you need to see if the stock has any strong support levels on different time frames that are closer to where it's trading right now, and it didn't. NVIDIA didn't have any strong time frames on the 5 minute or 15 minute. So this is the 5 minute here, same levels of support. Now the previous low was yesterday's low of the day was 349.14. So this was something that I should have also marked down. So 349.14 was the previous low of the day. This is also a strong level. And if you look at the 5 minute, it's not really showing much either. So I had my pre-market high, pre-market low. There's really not much going on right here in the middle. Sometimes you'll have like a pre-market consolidation area, but there wasn't really much. This I'm not going to consider, because if you paid attention to the previous day, if you wanted to set a level of support, it would come down here. And this is also a good thing to show you guys, because I didn't set this support level right here. Now, this is a previous intraday support level. You can see that the stock pushed up on the 19th, pulled down, and bounced off this support level multiple times, created a new high, until later in the day when the market sold off, it broke this previous support, intraday support, and started to trend down. Now, over here, if I had set that level, you could see clearly that there's no confirmation candle until later right here in this play around 10:30 or around 10:15, which I don't even think this was a really strong play looking at the 1 minute, but that's a different story. Now, if we look at my play, like I said, I got in at 9:44, so this is the candle that I got in on. Now, if I was even paying attention to the 5 minute, you could see that the 5 minute isn't showing a strong, sellers are strong. This candle is just now breaking that. If I was to watch that intraday level that I just set from the previous day, that candle is just breaking out of that level. Now, if I were to look for a play on the downside, what should I have waited for? I should have waited for a confirmation candle. I should have waited for the next 5 minute candle to open below this 358 level, and that's what the candle that I should have gotten in on. Just like on the 1 minute, I should have waited for the confirmation candle instead of getting in on the breakout candle. Now, when I showed you this 358 level that I just set, 358.04, probably a little lower, if you're going to pay attention to a previous day's intraday level, I don't usually pay attention. However, if I had set that level previously or the day before, I don't think NVIDIA was on my watch list the day before, but if I had set this level, I would have known that that is a level of support from yesterday that I probably would have watched throughout today, because you can see that the stock just consolidated around that level. It did end up breaking later in the day, and then that level became a level of support before the trading day ended. So when you're trading intraday levels and you're scalping, you really need to pay attention to all of this. 5 minute, 1 minute, 15 minute, and you need to make sure that you're getting all of this consolidation. Now, if this just touched this level once, the stock ended up, going on an uptrend again. It didn't. It touched this level multiple times before it broke later in the day, and the only reason that it broke this level is because the entire market was selling off on the 19th at the end of the day. This is a strong intraday level for NVIDIA. I should have watched it on the 20th as well. It should have been charted, and I should have watched it on the 20th. Now, if I would have seen a break on that level, it would have been a stronger play. Like I said, I got in on the 944 candle, and I got in on the breakout candle, and I ended up getting caught in a false breakout because I wasn't, one, didn't chart my levels properly, two, didn't really have a strong support break, and wasn't following my trading plan. So those are all things that go into it. Okay, so the next play that I'm going to show you is Facebook. I also played Facebook on the 20th of May, and I did take a loss. I took an $1,100 loss on Facebook on one play. So yeah, Facebook was not on my watch list on the 20th. So that is my first mistake. I didn't have Facebook on my watch list at all. I ended up trading it this day because I saw that it was on an uptrend. It had news with e-commerce throughout that week, so it was on a steady uptrend. So towards the end of the day, because I was still down on the day, I decided to trade Facebook to see if I can make up some of my losses because it was on an uptrend overall. However, towards the end of the day, you can see clearly after the morning, it ended up consolidating. There wasn't really a strong uptrend after about 11:30-ish. So that's my first mistake. Facebook wasn't even on my watch list for the day, so there was no reason for me to trade it. Let's go through when I entered and when I exited. So I got in on Facebook at 3:14. I exited at 3:31 with calls. So calls, obviously. All right, so let's take a look. So you can see here, Facebook is on an uptrend here, and like I said, whenever you trade in the morning, so you can, let's actually zoom out so you can kind of see. So now if I was to trade Facebook, obviously I would have charted the pre-market high, which I didn't do because it wasn't on my watch list, so I didn't chart the pre-market high. But let's go ahead and just chart it here so you guys can see the pre-market high. If you zoom in, when Facebook opens, what does it do? It breaks that pre-market high and starts an uptrend. Now, this is like the first 10-15 minutes of the stock. It pulls back here. Now, this is my level of resistance. That's the level that if you're watching, you would set. I'm just kind of showing you as a comparison to what I just showed you with NVIDIA and how you can kind of see the difference between what this stock did and what NVIDIA was doing. So you can see here, even though it has pullbacks here, the overall uptrend is up. You can see that it broke the consolidation area, the pre-market consolidation area upwards, and it's on a healthy trend. Volume is high, the stock takes a pullback and continues its uptrend. Now, like I said, I only traded Facebook because it was on an uptrend for the day, and I just wanted to make back my losses. So this was more of a psychology-like aspect of making mistakes because I don't usually trade Facebook. I'm not that comfortable with trading Facebook, but because I found out late that I had a catalyst, it was kind of an ego thing. Like, I didn't catch this easy uptrend on Facebook, but I took multiple losses throughout the day on other stocks. I took losses also on Tesla, NVIDIA, and it just was very frustrating that I missed this. And I was trading choppy stocks. So that was another thing that went into it. It was a little bit of ego thing where I was like, I can't believe I missed this. Another reason was just trying to make up for losses on the day. Now, like I said, I entered Facebook at 3:14, so let's take a look at what was going on. Now you can see here, after this, Facebook was on an uptrend. The trend ended right here. You can see because it then started consolidate. You can see that Facebook was on an uptrend here. The trend ended here because the stock started to consolidate. So this is the level that I should have set for Facebook, right about here. You want to find the highest point of that uptrend, and then your range in your consolidation, so your support would be right here. This is the consolidation high, which was 230.80, and then the support in that consolidation 228.36. So this is the range that Facebook was trading in. Now I entered at 314, so I entered on this candle right here, thinking that it broke out of the 230 range area. So I got in on this candle. Now let me show you exactly what went wrong on this play, because if I had gotten in on this candle, I held it for a while and I was actually up on Facebook. I was up like $500 on Facebook, I believe, at one point. So this is exactly when you let your psychology, you let your ego, you let your losses get to you throughout the day. Facebook did end up pulling back on me when I entered at 314. You can see the pullback at 317 here. It pulled back to the previous consolidation area here, the pullback area, when it started to push. That's why I didn't get out on top of that. I didn't get out because more of a psychological reason. I was already down on the day, so my psychology and my ego took over, where I was like, all right, I'm already down on the day, so I might as well just see where it goes with Facebook. That is not a good mindset to have. Even though volume was lower on these two candles in the previous candles, so it didn't really show a strong reversal. Regardless, that's not what I was watching. I know that the reason that I stayed in this play for this long is because I was already down on the day, a hefty amount, and I just, at this point, wanted to do anything that I could to make it back, and that is the wrong psychological mindset to have. When you are down on the day and you know that you've taken a bigger loss than you're used to, if you continue to trade and you're not comfortable with taking any more losses, the negative mindset is going to take over, where you're like, well, I'll just see what happens. I'll just see what happens. I don't care. I don't care. I don't care. When deep down you do really care, and you've just given up hope, and you've given up your strategy, and you've given up on that trading day, and you don't realize it. Because you're not sticking to a plan, you're not sticking to a strategy, you're breaking all of your rules at this point, which is exactly what I did. I got in at 314. Stock pulled back, which is fine. It pulled back to my previous support. Volume was low, so if I was watching this with the right mindset, I probably wouldn't have gotten out. Stock pulls back and then ends up pushing. Right here, I was up on Facebook, a little over $500, like I said. This is where I should have exited, or even on the open of this 322 candle, I should have exited it and just taken my profits. The problem is that I didn't. I stayed in the stock, and I got greedy, and I was like, oh, I'm going to make back all my losses on the day with Facebook, which that just wouldn't have happened. I was way too down on the day. And the stock ends up reversing, and I got out at 331 on this trade. So I ended up taking a $1,100 loss on Facebook on this play. And you can see that later, right before market close, it ended up pushing back to that same level, which was even harder to see. But yes, this play and this entire day really changed my mindset. I was taking on plays with a lot of confidence, and the market has ways to humble you, and you don't realize sometimes after you've taken so many if you're consistent and you've taken a lot of green days and you've been doing really well, sometimes you don't realize that, you're getting a little overly confident. And after I had this day, I realized I had that week, I had 3 red days, which is why I ended the week green or red. And it made me realize that I was, 1, overconfident, and 2, I really wasn't sticking to some of my rules that I should have been sticking to. I obviously don't show you guys every single play that I take throughout the day. There are multiple plays, but there are some plays where I feel like I didn't follow my trading plan exactly, or trades that I take where I take a loss, and I only took that loss because I was up on the day. So I got overconfident and I started taking stupid plays when I could have just stayed up on the day and not taking any more plays. And the greed, the overconfidence, a little bit of ego will get to you in the market, and the market will humble you so quick. And this day, this week, was when I realized that, there's a lot happening in the market. It's really, really hard to trade. And that I need to pay attention and be more careful and go back to what I know and what I'm comfortable with and stick to that and not stray away from my strategy and my rules. All right, guys, so that's it for this week's video. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe to my page. If you have any questions or anything like that, you can comment down below or shoot me a DM. And yeah, I'll catch you guys in next week's video.